Hey, what's going on, team? This is Eddie Gray. Welcome to In the Mix with Eddie Gray, and I'm so excited to be here. We're trying out new technology, so just be patient with this here. Feeling super stoked about this cast. We're going to be talking about the 45-day challenge that we've been working at HF Music Academy, and if you're not privy to kind of what's happening with that, essentially what's going on is that we're putting on a challenge. This is for all modern creatives. You could be a beat maker, a composer, a producer, a songwriter, and the challenge goes like this. If you can, if you so choose, we want you to write as many songs as you can within a 45-day period. It could be 25, it could be 50, it could be 100. Now, what's the point? Well, it's good to feel a little bit of pressure. And then on top of that, it's good to be reminded that this is the way that the world works, right? We want to be in a position where we're creating like simulations. It actually feels like it does in the real world when you have contracts, when you have jobs, when you have advertising agencies looking for you because they love your music. All right. And so the challenge is going great. I'm up to 30 songs today. So I've submitted 30 songs. These are songs that I've made, songs that I've collaborated with other people. And so I'm super stoked about it. And yeah, we're offering this to members of hfmusicacademy.com. All right. So I'm gonna pull up Logic in an effort to show people what this looks like day in and day out, right? So a lot of people, they can make videos that are polished, just show you how nice and perfect everything is, but it really takes somebody that's willing to put the work in brick by brick. Okay, you really need to take your time and build music. It takes energy, it takes effort. You got to get the work in. It's not enough just to kind of want it, right? It's not enough to just say you want it. You got to back it up with action, and you have to move forward in such a way where you have velocity, where you have intensity, where you have viscosity, power, love, passion behind it. Why do you guys do it? Like, why are you a creative? Why did you choose this path? And if you chose this path, then why don't you get something out of it and work hard in attaining your goals? And so that's the proposition, hfmusicacademy.com. My name is Eddie Gray, head composer, producer, and just a musical chameleon of sorts. So look, I'm going to get in and I'm going to show you how this looks day in and day out. I woke up at 3:30 a.m. today and I've been rocking ever since, doing all sorts of stuff, pitches, and I'm having a great time. So without further ado, let's get in here and let me show you guys what it looks like to submit music, make music, be productive, be efficient, be proficient, so we can get the job done. All right, guys, let's get into it. Here we go. All right, first I'm just going to check my sound sources to make sure everything works okay. All right, so from the looks of it, it all should be working well. If something is going on that I just can't hear or see, that's something I'm gonna have to live with. Again, all new tech here. We're moving on up. All right, so we're inside of Logic, and if you've been following what we're doing here, I've been building a basic skeletal structure. All right, for those of you who are new, go ahead and take off your hat, put your hair up, put your loafers on, and let's just chill and listen to the track and kind of figure out what's next. I've got some project notes here that I've already kind of addressed off camera, and so let's just take a listen to the first section here. Okay, and I've added a lot of things since you've last heard it, so I want to talk about this real quick. So here, when you're writing your music, come up with some genuine idea, something that inspires you. If you're not feeling it, if it's this is something that you're not into, you're not bobbing your head, you're not moving your body physically, guess what? No one's gonna like it either. So you might as well just get yourself to a place where you're touching, where you're experiencing the song that you hear in your head, that you feel in your heart, and of course that you're experiencing in your body. So I dig the direction. I like what's happening here. I've been taking my time, right? I've been making good choices. You know, half the battle, my friends, is just making good choices. So go ahead, take your time when you're making these choices, and choose good samples that really fit the mold of the song, right? Since the job of a mixer and a producer is to allocate frequencies, right? To make sure you have frequencies that are distributed and accounted for across the frequency spectrum. What's the frequency spectrum? 20 hertz, 20K, and everything in between. So I've gone ahead, got inspired, started adding sounds, and I'm just going to show you kind of some of the things that I would do when working with this. I was thinking I was going to add a guitar today. I know I want to add some strings, so we're just going to go to town, you know, climb the mountain. Some things will work, some things won't, but we will be, in fact, putting one more brick on the wall. All right, so let me get back in here, and let me show you these recent changes. All right, so I'm specifically looking at these regions here. Now, if you go into the Apple Loop browser, I typed in Future Bass and just started going through the construction kits. Now, that's not enough to, you know, call it music. You know, part of the artistry, especially for the modern creative, or what I like to call the modern creative, is that you're manipulating it in such a way, and you know, you're turning it into something that it wasn't. So, for example, let me play you this loop here. You can see that I've edited and moved it around, and I'm essentially just borrowing the snare. Check it out. So that in and of itself doesn't really fit my tune, but if I just add the snare, look how much more impactful it is. Check it out. Okay, this can be the kind of thing where you have a snare on the 2 and the 4. This can be something that you know, plays throughout. I don't know, but for now, I like what it is. Um, I'm just considering, should I use mono or should I use stereo? Let me just start with mono, go from there. Yeah, this would be nice, obviously, if it had a little bit of reverb, but not the usual washed out reverb. We're just gonna choose a chamber, something small. I think like a bathroom, I don't know, small bathroom. You know, I'm thinking like about the tiles, and for any of those who sing in the bathroom, I'm thinking about that quality of sound. So obviously that means not a long decay. Let's stick to 2 seconds. Let's see what that feels like. Okay, kind of there. Maybe I want less of the dry sound and more of the wet. Let's see if that feels right. Yeah, I like that. I like that it's subtle, but it makes an impact, right? I'm looking for a lot of that. If anything's gonna make an impact, it better be pretty good. I'm looking for a lot of small wins, a lot of small bumps in production. Let's change the reverb. Let me try low quality, see what that sounds like. And you know what? I changed my mind about it being in mono. I'm going to stereo because in the details tab inside of Chromoverb, I can lift up the width pretty good here, and I can have this kind of reach outside of the speakers, left and right. Let's see what this sounds like. Yeah, very good. So remember, not only do we have 20 hertz to 20K, right? There's also the left and the right, the stereo spectrum to consider. And so that comes with a lot of different implications. So go ahead and determine, like, okay, the snare is sitting in the middle. If I want to get stuff out of the way, why don't I make the sound source, in this case the reverb, why don't I make it a little bit wider? And that should sound pretty nice. All right, let's listen to the idea in its full totality. Here we go. I dig it. I'm going to use the command click tool, secondary click tool. I'm going to go 4 bars. So you see I'm selecting the silence and, of course, the regions within the marquee selection. And then I'm going to hit Command R. And that will replicate with ease. You got to love it. All right, so we got that idea. Now it's time to organize. So let's click on the track itself. You can see all the regions were highlighted. They're now in key focus. I'm going to hit Option C. Let's go red. And then we will move this up to where it belongs. All right. In the same vein, I took another sound source and just started playing with it. Sounds like this. Okay, so you can see what I'm doing, right? Did not sound anything like that when I first got it, but I started listening to kind of like the rhythm within the rhythm. And so once you get to that point, your ear, your natural intuition will guide itself. So here's what I'm proposing, that your brain literally knows what to do. If you're a creative, this is something that you were born to do. You don't have to ask any questions. You don't have to watch any tutorials. Should you watch tutorials? Yeah, it's a great idea. You kind of feed your mind, kind of make sure that you have all the supplemental learning that you need to get in order to fulfill on the job day in, day out, day in, day out. But moreover, it's way more important to trust your intuition, and to listen to your heart and to listen to who you are, right? That's why you got started in the first place. So don't forget the purpose and why you even got started. So let's get back into it here. All right, so I like what's going on here. I know I want it distorted. I don't know if it's going to be a bit crusher. I don't know if it's, just going to be some kind of like, intense filter. I just picked up a new one a month or two ago by Moog, a Moog filter, so I may try that out. But listen to what we have, this idea here. Check it out. All right, everything works pretty nice. I definitely want to go back to this idea. Let me just listen to the ending. Okay, I'm making my edits. If you're wondering how I'm editing with ease, it's because I'm using snap mode. This is unique to every DAW. Every DAW has it. I think Ableton calls it grid value or adaptive grid. Don't know what Pro Tools calls it, but the point is that every single DAW has this. And so if you really want to master the craft, you got to do it in such a way where, yeah, this looks good, where you really understand how to edit, move regions, how to use in Logic it's called the marquee tool. But this idea of just creating selections and muting stuff and reversing, you need this power, at your fingertips. So let's listen to this again. I will pull up the Moog filter. I don't know if it's right for the part, but we give it a spin. I just kind of like check in with infinite intelligence, and I'm just checking. Hey, should we try this out? Part of it, I gotta be honest, is I bought this about a month or two ago, so I'm just curious. I'm really just curious if it'll work. So let's give it a spin. Let's keep going. Let's try again. And I like the sound. I'm just not sure about the sound in the context of this track. Yeah, I'll try one or two more. If not, I'm moving on. Okay, I don't know. Maybe I'll try that in conjunction with probably my favorite plugin. It's kind of definitely top of the list. It's like in the Mount Rushmore of plugins. You definitely have Speakers by Audio Thing. Such a lovely plugin. Just does so much. It's use it in every song, man. It's just an incredible plugin. So basically, it just simulates, um, different sound sources. So you've got like a mic here. I think it even has like a Game Boy, PA horn. You just, create different filters using the impulse responses here. And so let me just try a preset out. Let's see what this sounds like. Alright, that's probably the closest. I'm going to give this one more chance in conjunction with Speaker, and if not, we're moving on. We're going to bypass it, remove it, and get on with it. Alright, cool. Interesting stuff, but not the right fit, so we are moving off. We're voting you off the island. Here we go. All right, so we got some interesting parts. I also just added a quick cymbal swell. Sounds like this. That may not even be the sound that I'm quite looking for, but again, we're just mapping it out. And the fact that it is developing is like a really good sign. I can't tell you how many people I meet, they don't finish songs. And obviously there's an argument for why is that happening? Why is it that people don't finish songs? I don't know. If you want to throw a comment in the comments there, let's talk about it. Why don't you finish songs? Why? What's the deal? You say you want to do it. You're born to do it. I mean, you hear music in your head. Some of you even wake up dreaming about music. Man, I've been playing music since I was 11 years old, and even a little bit before that, because that's when I purchased my first guitar. Well, my parents did, and if you hear music, if you're the kind of person that gets inspired after you hear like a really dope sample pack, what do you got to do? Like, what is it gonna take? Do you need a mentor? Do you need accountability? What needs to happen? Maybe you just haven't found the right system yet. Maybe you haven't found the right group to be a part of that allows you to really flourish and thrive. Whatever the case may be, here's the deal. If you don't work on it, if you're not in it, it's not going to happen. And, maybe you're 25 years old, time, it feels like you have a bunch of time, but let me tell you, it's not going to last forever. So get on it, pick it up, climb that mountain, get into it, because it's not going to happen by itself. You know what I mean? All right, cool. Let's get into it. Hope you guys are good. Let's keep the fun going. I'm going to address the list now. I think that's the move right now. And then after we address the list, maybe I'll get my guitar out. There's a lot to do. So let's keep it going. So note number 2 I was, from what I recall, I was saying, hey, let's add some, a longer decay to the reverb, and so we're going to take this one out because I've already kind of played with this idea a little bit, and I really think you're gonna like it. Here, check it out. If I open up, in fact, this is actually a good time to introduce you to something in Logic that I really like. It's called Smart Controls. Have you guys ever heard of it? Smart Controls. If you hit B, you can access it. So here, check it out. What's interesting about Smart Controls is right here next to the Inspector tab, you can actually access your auxes right here, and then the master channel. So you can see on my master channel that I've got a compressor, and so if I want to play with the settings, of course these are mappable as well. So if you have a controller, you can get down with that. So look, I've got a new plugin, well, fairly new, a week or two. I'm sorry, a month or two. It's by Valhalla. It's called Supermassive. If you haven't checked it out, please do. Really wicked plugin. This incredible sound source, beautiful. The fact that it's free, man, I take my hat off to them. They're such an incredible company, and I'm definitely I will own their entire suite by the time it's all said and done. I'm currently on a plugin fast if I haven't said that already right now. But yeah, check out this amazing delay that I got with it. Now, bear in mind, I did add some reverb, so why don't I bypass that for a second, and then let me show you kind of what I was playing with here. So just the piano by itself sounds like this. It's nice, it's sweet, it's cute, it's vanilla, but I want more. So what I did was I added Supermassive, and then I'm using a dotted eighth note. And so you can see that you've got delay, you have a warp feature, and you've got modulation source. So it seems kind of like a delay and a chorus. Uh, People way more qualified than I can speak on it. But basically, you've got some filters here, and look at this sound. Look how amazing this sounds. So you get that wonderful syncopation that really is what music is all about. To me, it's all of the small things. So look, I added a reverb right after it. This is by Initial Audio. You guys know how much I love and respect Initial Audio. Best plugins in the game for hip hop. They created this great reverb. Actually, they just released something recently as well. I got to pick that up. But again, I'm on a plugin fast, so I gotta wait for the right time. But here, check this out. Listen to the dotted eighth note with the reverb in series. So it's a little bit more wet. Yeah, so that right there, just gives me the chills. I may even start the song like that, or maybe we'll get into some type of bridge. You got to start thinking about these things too, like the arrangement. How is this going to work? How am I going to put it together? In the back of your mind, you're kind of always fixated on these details. That's kind of that's what it takes. You have to live with it. You have to have a relationship to it. And if you don't have a relationship to it, man, let me tell you, it will not give you love back. So make sure that you commit. All right. So that being said, everything looks good. Everything feels good. So let's listen to this now. Great. And look, I get it. It needs work. that's what it's going to sound like in the beginning. If you can just get it to the point where it just sounds promising, you know, it could stand alone. That's the goal. Don't try and get it to sound incredible just yet. I mean, the goal is obviously that it comes out outstanding, but just get it going. Make sure it stands up first, right? Okay. Happy with all the results right now. You know, I'm gonna add a bandpass filter. So remember we were talking about smart controls? Well, if I go to I'm sorry, where did I do this? Was it here? Was it master? Don't remember where I did it. Oh, it's on the track level. There we go. Okay, great. So you can see, you know, I was playing with the auxes of the master. If you go to the tab right over, you've got the track. And so what's happening here is, you know, I cleared up all of the mappings and I created a custom mapping of this filter right here. And so if you want to learn how to do that, hit me in the comments and I will make a video on it. And so the goal is that we take this knob right here and that, you know, we create a piano that sounds narrow, all right? So then over time we can open it, so by the time we get to the drop, to the hook, to the chorus, everything sounds much bigger than before. All right, can you do this separately? Yeah, you can do it separately. You can, you know, take this side and then go to that side, but that would take longer, right? So why not kind of get it done in one shot? So we're going to slowly automate this over time. So I'm going to click on that guy right there, and let's see if I go up, is this going to close or open? Yeah, it's going to close, so let's go this way. All right, so let's see how this plays out over the course of 4 bars. Alright, that sounds good. I'm digging it. So work with your mapping parameters, work with smart controls. There's a lot of information there as well. And so this is sounding great. You know, my brain just kind of thought of a couple things. So I'm going to add some saturation here to this filter. You know, Fab Filter just came out with Saturn 2. Let's just try something out in this department. You know, I don't have to have it all figured out as stated. We just want something that sounds good. Just get some nice saturation. One of my favorite things about the Saturn is that you can play with the blend, and so that's always of the utmost importance. Let's check it out. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, that sounds great, and I'm hearing some filtering as well, but I just don't want to put my attention there at the moment. The toms, I want them to be a little bit more intense. So we're not talking volume, okay? We're talking hardness. There's a difference between volume and something sounding hard. All right. So sometimes you just want the initial transient. Like if we're talking about, you know, a transient like a snare, right? You've got the initial waveform and then it kind of trails down. Well, what if you just want to impact the initial attack? You know, what is a tool that you can use? Well, you can use a transient shaper, and so we're going to get into that right now. All right. So again, I like the volume. It works. I'm stoked about it. I need something that is going to be a bit more heavy hitting. I could experiment. Let's just go with something that works. It's tried and true, gets the job done. Native Instruments, Transient Master in the house. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. You gotta love this plugin. It's absolutely amazing. It has that smooth feature. I'm pretty sure it's just a filter or something, but man, it sounds nice. So I'm gonna go ahead and lift this up. As far as just getting some gain, you got the attack up. Let's see what happens. All right, all right. That works for me right now. There's one more sound that I forgot to address. Where is it? Hold on. Oh yeah. So when I brought in this sound, you hear that it's got this like interesting chime, this bell, and so that needs to be looked at because it works. It could be something as simple as just adding reverb. Let's give that a go. Should we experiment? Should we experiment? All right, what's this? Sometimes I'll just try. Okay, cool. So Kilohertz, if you guys don't know them, wonderful plugin company, real deal. Let's check them out. Hey, I dig it. It's really nice. But here, check this out. The information going into the reverb, I want it to be smaller. So what does that mean? That means pre-fader. Here, let me show you what I mean. If this is the reverb right here, okay? So picture this is the reverb. And the information going into the reverb is super heavy, super intense, right? Picture like, pitcher of water, and you're just kind of overfilling. Then the reverb is going, or the compressor, or the phaser, or the flanger, or is going to overreact, right? And so if I then pour a little bit less, then the reverb is obviously going to change its behavior. It's going to modify the way that it reacts to the incoming signal. So with that being said, then let's go ahead and change the input gain, or let's gain stage manually. Let's reduce the volume coming from the regions on the tracks area, and let's bring it down. So I'm going to bring that down right about there. All right, and now let's listen to the result. I'll tell you what, it's in the right direction. I teach various places right now. I'm currently doing some work for Apple and various companies, and people will ask me, Eddie, how do you know how to make a decision? Like literally, I'm not kidding you. Like, hey Eddie, how do you know if you need to choose something? And I'll say, well, if you like it, if it calls you. I mean, how do you know, how to put on your pants in the morning? How do you know how to go to sleep at night? I mean, these are things that you just kind of figure out over time. So in the same way, your music selections, your sound sources, this is something that you develop over time. You got to, again, going back to what we were talking about before, you got to start learning how to trust yourself. So just stop questioning as much, get back into the fun of it. When you started playing music, how was it? Were you always questioning it? Was it always something that was a point of confusion for you? I doubt that. I'm pretty sure when you started playing music, it filled your heart. You were just kind of flying all over, and you just felt incredible. Everybody's story is a little bit unique. For me, I started playing guitar, like I said, when I was a kid, And that was it. I didn't need any other verification. I didn't need to go, you know, to halfway across the world. I knew for a fact this is home. This is what I want to do. And I have been doing it ever since. I've been doing it full time for a couple of years now. And I am so blessed and so thankful for that. So thank you to my community, to all my partners, all my collaborators, to my family, to my sister, to my wife, to my baby Havana, that, you know, we're all here, we're all moving forward, and now it's my time to give back, and so that's why I'm here. I'm here to just contribute. So much love, much respect. Let's get back into it. All right, so this is sounding good. As long as you get those bumps in production, as long as you move the ball ahead, as long as you kick the can forward, then we can work, right? No impediments, keep moving forward. So I like everything. The only thing now that's catching my ear is this chroma verb right here. It just sounds a little too heavy. So again, we can change the input gain that's going into the signal. That's an option. I'm wondering, just for the sake of an example, if we could just try something else out. All right, so let me do something unorthodox, something I don't do all the time. I'm going to use a multi-band compressor in order to color the signal. So most people don't associate a compressor, you know, with an EQ, but really it's like heads and tails. And if you didn't know, a multipressor is basically a bunch of compressors in one. So all I'm going to do is just color the signal. I'm literally just going to color the signal. So this is kind of a different way of going about it. And so let's just hear what that sounds like. We're listening to this snare right here. And if this doesn't help, you know, maybe I'll change the order. Maybe I'll put the multiband compressor before the reverb, and that will influence the way the reverb sounds. But here, let's check it out. Okay, let me just make sure. Yeah, that sounds good. What does this sound like? Okay. Ooh, I might have to separate these because I had something in mind. I like these sounds, by the way. I get really like warped out and weird about like gas sounds and like, I don't know. I just love, you know, this folly, just weird sounds. So yeah, I might have something bigger for that. Might have something bigger in mind, but for right now, let's try this out. Maybe I'll raise up the overall volume. Let's see. Alright, yeah, so I definitely have to change that and that. So this I'm going to call gas sounds. Actually, this is probably a good time to start organizing, in all fairness. Snare, verb. Alright, here, let's go back. Whoa, what happened here? Hold on, real quick. Oh, okay, got it, I see. So that goes there. So, cool. What was this? Gas. Here, shift tab, and then snare. Beaver. Alright. That works. Here we go. Alright, yeah, this is coming out pretty cool. So for this gas sound, let's go ahead and widen it using Wider by Infected Mushroom. Such an incredible plugin, a must-have, and it's free, so check it out. Alright, let's listen to the gas sounds. Yeah, I love it, Alright, let's bring that down. And if you're wondering how I'm able to move the playhead without necessarily, you know, moving the mouse, I mean, look, I'm gonna hit a key command right now. And so what you want to do is you want to go into the key command window and you want to look for stop or play from last position. This is my absolute favorite keyboard inside of Logic. Absolutely love it. If you guys didn't know, I'm an Apple certified T3 trainer, highest accreditation in the game, and this is one of the reasons I work with Apple, and so I'm stoked. I'm loving this program. 10.5 was the best. They should have called it Logic 11. I mean, they really should have. Such an incredible, incredible update, and we get it for free. So very grateful to the team at Apple. Such an incredible update. You gotta love the Live Loops browser. Uh, it's amazing. All right, so maybe I'll do a session on that at some point. You guys curious? Hit me up on the chat, and we'll go from there. If you guys are liking the content too, come on, man. Let's go ahead and subscribe. Hit me with some comments. Support the channel. Make sure you guys show us your love in the same way that we show it to you. All right. Man, lots to do here. So this is cool. We might bust out the guitar, some risers, maybe some strings, maybe Melodyne. Let me just listen for reference and just kind of let me ask my brain what to do here. It's pretty good. I'm stoked, and the possibilities are starting to show themselves. Again, I already hear an intro with just this. So that buys me like at least a minute, right? That right there is, yeah, that could be a really good choice. Here, let's keep looking at it. Okay, I guess I could make that arrangement selection right now. So why don't I just create a cycle region? All right, notice how I did that without even thinking, looking, speaking. And so again, going back to snap mode. If you guys want to take my classes, you can go to hfmusicacademy.com. That's where I be, and that's essentially where I show my students how to work and how to be efficient. And yeah, I'm loving it. We've got a lot of great people, and so check it out, hfmusicacademy.com. And so what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go ahead and insert silence, and so you could find that in the toolbar. I know there's a key command for it too. And so now I can grab these two regions, option drag them over, again with precision, with ease, without having to think about it too much. And so this is going to work nicely. We already heard it, and so I'm good with moving on. And so then now, just for giggles, let's just kind of check out how long is this. So we're already at 2:15. So that's pretty long. We could cut the first one out. Hit Command A, Command U, and so if I hit Command B, I get an outline of how long is the song. It's 1 minute and 56 seconds. I mean, this could be the entire song. I wasn't listening to it like that. Like I potentially was hearing some changes, but yeah, that could be it. I mean, I might be okay with that. So if that's the case, we might need to bring in this bass a little bit earlier, and then I'll change the progression right here. So let's verify. We got to listen to it. Here we go. Hope you guys are having a good time. Eddie Gray, hfmusicacademy.com. I'm digging all the parts. I think if anything, I'm just going to move this over a little bit, just so it kind of reflects this one. And if you're not sure how to measure this ever, again, the marquee tool, money, really good. Look, I'm going to hold command, click and drag. Now I've got 4, so that's 4 bars. I'm going to click and drag over. Again, that's 4. And so that lets you know this is in the same world. So this is great. I'm loving it. We got to change the bass part. Well, at least we got to try. So right here under track alternatives, what does this mean? Well, I can nest different ideas. I can nest, various experiments, right? So rather than having to throw this away or creating another track and muting that one and hiding that one, I can just say, hey, let me duplicate this. But we're not going to roll with this sequence. What we're going to do is we're going to play with the time. So I want this to be more like staccato, in time with the drums, but still just not the same idea. I doubt that I'm going to want the register that's up there. So I'm going to go ahead and select it, and I'm going to go ahead, let me just mute it for now. And so we want something that is in line with the drums. So with this kind of workflow, it's never a bad idea to just isolate the elements in question. And let me go ahead and move this. I don't really need this right now, so let me get this out the way. Control H, let's hide that. All right, this looks good to my eyes. And then just do a little housekeeping. I love it. All right, so again, this needs to fit and work with the drums. So I'm in the piano roll. We know we're going to utilize the scissor tool as your secondary tool, so you might as well just set that up. Here is your snap. There is a unique snap mode inside of the piano roll, and so that differs from the tracks area. You can see there's a snap mode here, and there's a snap mode here, so just be hip to that. And then the nudge value is still global, so it still pertains to the tracks area, and it pertains to the piano roll and everything else. So if you're ever confused about this stuff, here, do me a favor. There's a great author, revolutionary pioneer. His name is Edgar Rothermick. He's got a YouTube channel as well, and he writes the best books in the game about Logic, Pro Tools, and I know he's got a bunch of others. So check him out, Logic GEM Manuals. Just type that in Google, and you'll find a broad selection of what he does. The man is incredible. He was actually a guest speaker at HF Music Academy, and we loved having him. I mean, what a great mind to be able to learn from and to be able to garner such information from such a brilliant mind. So yeah, shout out to Edgar Rothermick. Check out his YouTube channel as well. All right, let's get back into it. Yep, here we go. All right, so you got the scissor tool, got my snap, and I'm ready to go. I wonder if this should go ba 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 ba. So here's a cool trick. So you see how I've got all these solos. So rather than having to turn all of them off again, you can just click this button up here, or you can set it up to a key command. So mine is Control Option Command S. I'm not sure if that's for everybody. So let me listen to this idea in context. Ba-boom. Okay, so then what I'm going to do is, again, hit Control Option Command S, and that would bring up all of the solos that were currently selected. And then so now I have a better idea of what I want to do here. So phenomenal workflow. Keep it tight, guys. Keep it right. Here we go. Bum, bum. All right, so this is what I'm talking about, where you get that nice syncopated rhythm. Maybe there. Maybe there, actually. No, actually it was there. Let me make this one a little shorter. Oops, not that short. Hold on, here we go. Yeah, you gotta control that horse. Make sure that everything stays in line. All right, there's another cut somewhere in there. That one or that one? Yeah, that works. And then again, just edit this so it works for you. Good. I don't know if we're gonna need another one past that. Bum, 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 bum. Yeah, you might need one more. All right, let's listen to that. Here we go. All right. So just that alone works for me. Let me listen to it in context. All right, with the song. This could sound a little bit more realistic if I just play with the timing. Yeah, that works. Maybe this one a little bit longer. Let's do something like that. Okay. You can also play with the velocity, but I'm gonna leave it just the way it is right now. And let me listen again. Just questioning if I need this note. Hang on. Yeah, I mean it's one of those things where it can exist and then also it doesn't have to. So maybe try lowering the velocity, see if that makes a difference. Yeah, so that feels a little bit better to me. It can also be off. I don't mind it, but here, let's keep moving. Don't get stuck, guys. Don't get stuck. Yeah, you can also play with like the octave, maybe going up a fifth. Yeah, so I'm gonna leave this as is right now. And so I'm pretty sure this pattern is just going to repeat itself in terms of the feel. So let me show you another trick, Logic 10.5 and otherwise. And so here, check this out. This is really interesting. So I'm gonna use the brush tool. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tell Logic, wait, not that. I'm gonna select these here, make sure everything is selected. And then now, while I'm using the brush tool, I'm gonna control click this pattern and look at what happens. We get this amazing little feature. Again, not often talked about. This is one of the beauties with working, with somebody that has put about 6-7 years in the game, man. You work with somebody that has put their entire, blood, sweat, tears. You get some information that could be helpful to you. And if it's helpful to you, here, do me a favor, make sure you pass it on to somebody else so that you can contribute to their life, right? Each one teach one, each one reach one. So make sure that you guys are hooking up your friends. And you know what? If you want to make your own videos, that's cool too. Just give people props, give people respect that have given you, the information. So here, let's get back into it. Define, brush, pattern. It's absolutely outstanding. I love it. And so what happens here is that now when I draw a pattern with the brush tool, it's going to mimic, literally replicate the same exact pattern. Here, check this out. You gotta love it, guys. Woo! It's amazing. You gotta love it. You got the right information. It doesn't have to be laborious. You don't have to waste a bunch of time. You just got to get the right information, right? You guys know Dr. Joe Dispenza? You guys know who he is? No? All right, well, Dr. Joe Dispenza says, knowledge is the precursor to experience. So if you want the right experience, you have to have the right knowledge, right? If you have the right knowledge, you can have the experience that you set out to have. So if you want to be an amazing producer, you want to be a worldwide talent, you're going to need the necessary knowledge in order to get there first. All right, so here, let's go back in. Now I don't have to work on all that editing. Of course, if I need to, I will. Don't get me wrong, but I have that as my reference. The note is C sharp, and so I'm going to grab that now, move that to C sharp. And then if you guys don't read music or any of that stuff, here's a great feature, just great visual. You go to view note labels, and so here you can see the notes on the MIDI region. So I love that as well. And so I'm pretty sure the pattern's going to repeat here. Let me give it a go. Again, we can use the brush tool. What's the key command for that? TB. All right, let's listen to this. I wonder if we could have benefited from using that same pattern here on G sharp and F sharp. Well, let's try it. G sharp, F sharp. So T, B, F sharp, and G sharp. Here we go. Oh, wait, it didn't copy the pattern. So let me go bum bum dun dun dun. Let me try copying this one. So, see, would it be bum bum bum? Let's see if this works. Yeah, let's just move these over. This is why nudge is important. Inside the toolbar, you want to click and hold, move the nudge value to division, and then option left arrow key. See how clean that was? Pretty sweet, huh? All right, let's go. All right, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to want these to be long. And so for that, we can do that guy. All right, try and learn your key commands, try and learn your contextual menu commands, try and learn your menu commands, all sorts of great stuff here in Logic. All right, actually I'm happy with that. Just a little bit of silence. You know the way I do it, I mean, no joke. I will literally like pretend like I'm a bass player. I grew up playing acoustic guitar, and so I already have an inclination towards like bass and drums. And so just try and pretend that you're the drummer, that you're the beat maker, that you're the percussion player, whatever it is, and you'll give your song a real sense of authenticity and realism. That's great. I could even add a slide. I mean, there's a bunch of stuff we can do. But for now, honestly, I'm pretty stoked about it. I'm not going to change the velocity very much. And let's just hear that. Again, careful with it, right? We took our time, made sure that it was promising. And look, it was worth it. Check it out. All right, I just heard one thing. I think it was maybe that guy. I'm going to go up an octave. I don't want it to stand out too much. Let me drop the velocity. I don't know. You got to be careful with that kind of stuff. Maybe as I fill out the song, I mean, we're still again in the beginning stages here, but it's sounding pretty good. Something that I could definitely align myself with. So yeah, we're definitely, not in the final stages, but I have a better sense of what this song is. I have a better song of where it's going, and so I'm pretty stoked about it. I got to be honest. Love the dynamics. I love the transitions. Let me move these synthesizers up here. Just organize a little bit. Yeah, this looks good. This looks good. So what should we work on? Should I throw on some risers? Add a guitar? I'll tell you what. Let me ask my brain. One sec. I'm gonna grab something. I'll be right back. Hang on, team. Keep doing what you're doing. Here we go. Yeah, yeah, that works. I don't know if I would end it like that. I got to be honest. I think we'll do a more traditional on the one. So let's add that now. Command C, move the playhead to where you want to paste. See if this is long enough. Let me extend that out a little bit. Yeah, that's pretty sweet. I think we should also get the piano. Hmm. Wait, what note did this end in? D sharp? Yeah, let's do D sharp. That reminds me of like a 9 Inch Nails thing right here. I'm not gonna use it, but I actually may use it. I don't know. Let me listen to it in context. You guys know why I use mute. I call it the maybe tool. Control M. I kind of dig it, but you know we can also just keep it traditional. And let's go to the D sharp right there and see what that sounds like. It's interesting. The piano has some harmonics that actually sound like this note, which I believe is the third. That's pretty interesting while that's happening. Alright, so either way I'm gonna take it. Do I need a crash cymbal? Let's see. Hang on. All right. All right, I actually like that a lot. I'm going to invert the channel. Looking good, looking good. Yeah, this feels really nice. I'm thinking like some kind of electric guitar. Maybe I'll add some percussion in the back, something more organic, like a shaker, tambo, something like that. But we're pretty close. This piano could also change by way of, you know, a nice progression. So, you know, rather than it being, you know, all delayed out, maybe we can actually play a progression. So I would take off the delay. What was that? I forgot the chord progression that we played in the other day. What was it? A sharp, D sharp. So yeah, so maybe it'll be more like here. Let me show you what I'm doing here. All right, so I've got a piano in front of me. Maybe we could do something with a little bit more bounce, you know, so it actually feels like a song, you know. 2, 3, 4. So you know, some just basic quarter note feel, not a bad idea. So that's something to consider. Let me just rehearse that, and then maybe we'll just start wrapping up, doing some preliminary mixing, and then we'll come back again tomorrow or the next day. So here, let me just play with that piano part. Since we're just experimenting, we know that we can delete the inactive track, so that's A, right? So now I only have one region or track alternative, and so now I'm going to duplicate that one, and so this is B, and this just allows me to experiment a little bit. So let me play that progression again, and maybe even after this I'll put an arpeggiator through it. Before now, let's see what this sounds like. Yeah. So yeah, I'm not a piano player, but I just try and get in that feel, and then, you know, maybe I'll record it and I can edit it. So notice I didn't record anything right now. Well, if I hit Shift R, the performance is right there. I can hit Command A, Q. So it's not about the talent, guys. It's about the will. It ain't about the skill. How many times do I have to say it? How many times do I have to get out here and show you guys that it's not about skill, it's about the will, your technical understanding. At this point in the game, we're so far ahead. We got, you know, we're in a different time period. We're in a different time period here. So let's go. Let's play with sustain. See if we can make this come alive. That looks good. That feels good. Let me just listen to this. All right, let's start off by, you know, it sounded like a caveman was playing this piano, super heavy-handed. So let me just make this just nice and gentle. Let's try this. So I'm just kind of listening for the rhythm. You know, can this be something that works? I'm interested in changing to another instrument, so I'm going to keep what I have. I'm going to command click here, and so now this gives me some flexibility to try something else out without losing the original idea. So it's like a track alternative, kinda, but you know, I'm trying something else out. So I don't want a piano. Let's try out something else. Let's try a Celeste. See what this sounds like. If you guys ever heard the Nutcracker, you know this guy. Let's check it out. I definitely don't mind it. At this point, I'll solo. So we're kind of in that, you know, let's look for a sound phase. Let's try out this guy. Let's see what this sounds like. Let me go up an octave. I'm thinking about it. We don't really have anything in that register. So yeah, at this point you kind of have to like be the verdict. Like, okay, do I want more of a piano sound or do I want something else? I'm not saying that was the sound, but you know, I'm open to suggestions. Yeah, I see. That sounds like lackluster to me. Let's try this out. And again, this is just laying out the foundation. So it's like you're literally just laying out the pavement. You know, we haven't even gotten into really decorating it. You know, just get yourself to a point where you're like, okay, I like the general idea, right? The general idea, how it gets from A to Z, it's definitely working. So that's something that I'm going to leave right there for now. I don't want to play too much with it, but I'm definitely going to start, you know, just mulling over it just over time. So I know I want to play with the guitar. I'm gonna do that later. It's just too much right now. Riser, yep, that makes sense in my head. Strings, I can see something as well, and I've got that Melodyne idea. I don't know. I'm gonna think about that, but for sure, I do want to put some last touches on this, and then we will wrap up. So I'm gonna hide the original piano track. I still know it's there somewhere. All right, and then let me listen to the lead part here. I like the sound. For some reason, something calls me here. You know, if it's not gonna work, I'm okay with that too. But let's check it out. All right. So let's just play with this idea that we can use this sound. I'm gonna create an audio track. I'm gonna just drag this region over, and I'm going to. Oh wait, I have to drag it all the way down here. All right, let's create a quick sampler. Let's do optimized. All right, so Logic is going to create a sampler. That's a 10.5 trick right there. And then what I'm gonna do is I want this in slice mode, but the sensitivity level is too high. I'm just gonna reduce that a bit and see if I can. Yeah, let's try something like that. Let's see what, right there. Okay. And so now I'm able to play this because that was audio. So now I'm able to play this as MIDI. I'm still gonna use low latency mode, and I'll tell you what. Let me go back to the reverb that I was using. That guy right there. If you ever want to find yourself in the mixer, hold Command, make sure 2 tracks are selected, and then you hit X and you can see where they are side by side. You're welcome very much. And just kidding. Alright, so there's the reverb right there. And so let's hear what we got. If it's in focus. Yeah, so let me just play with that and see what we got. Yeah, I really like that idea a lot. So lovely, lovely. I dig it. Let's hit Option R, and hopefully this goes back to the playhead and records. Let's see. Nay. All right. So here, I'll tell you what. Let's bring the playhead back, and let's record. Fire, son. I love it. All right. So I basically just like the second half. So I'm just gonna grab that, cut that, and we are in business. Really like this. It doesn't have to be over the top or anything. Let's see what's going on here. Did I? Oh yeah, that's funny. Oh, did you guys see that? You might want to take a look to all you avid Logic users. Here, check this out. Um, you can see there's a track activation button right here. This new behavior. It can definitely be a point of confusion. So, if you noticed, I had it selected. Could have been a mistake. Could have been a slip of the hand. Whatever the case may be, I had it selected this way to the left. Well, where is it pointing to? But alas, the live loops grid. So trip on this. It's interesting. Even though you don't see the live loops grid, right? It's muted it. And why is that? Because it takes priority. And so if I shift it over to the right, now we know that this is where the information is. So if you ever get that weird behavior, be sure to check your track activation button. And this right here is called the divider column. So it's really important for you to understand what role this plays and how it influences the tracks area, the traditional tracks area, and then of course now the new and improved, the shiny and ever so lovely live loops grid. So, all right, cool. So let's listen to that, and then we'll call it. Here we go. Let me just play with what needs to happen here. It's I think it should be mono. I'm just getting kind of that signal. I've got the angel on my right hand side telling me, hey, let's try this out. So utility, gain. Let's turn this into something right here. I love it. And maybe I'll need a little more juice actually. All right, let's see what this sounds like. Move this over. Yeah, I really like it. I'm gonna use just another quick plugin here, Provocative. This is by Boz Digital Labs. Let's see if it selects. Wait, not that. Whoa, 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 whoa. All right. So hold on. All right. So that was pretty intense. So sometimes I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I'm using this great plugin manager. It's by a company called Speaker Food. I think it's called Plug Search. Really good price, really good product, but sometimes it doesn't choose the right plugin. So anyway, let me go select the one that I was looking for. Here's Boz, and we're looking for Provocative. Ah, it only comes in stereo. All right, let me play with the Haas effect here. So if you ever are having trouble with masking, this plugin right here is quite amazing. It just deals with that directly. Uh, really good. Highly recommend you check out the website. Really informative stuff. Here we go. Let me listen to this. Da-da-da-da. Just trying to find a nice melody. Yeah, it looks like I just chose the same pattern. Let me see what that sounds like in context. Maybe I'll use it more. Something to think about. For now, I know I like it. I know it's interesting. It's there. A little visual indicator to myself for the next sesh. Hey Eddie, check this out. This one is a different color. You should probably pay attention to that. And then actually something we covered in HF Music Academy today on our Logic session is you can actually write yourself notes in here. So if I type in T, what's the text tool? Shift T, right? We're like, hey, uh, different fill, you know? Uh, just put diff fill. Actually, I have enough space. Different fill. So that could be a great way to communicate with yourself, collaborators, potential collaborators, singers, people that you're hiring, work for hires. Great stuff. So I think I'm gonna call it there, my friends. Lots going on. Hopefully you enjoyed this installment. Really stoked to be here in the flesh, alive and well and thriving. Hopefully you guys are safe during this time, and you're finding a renewed purpose for yourself. You're finding that, you know, maybe there's something else out there for you. Maybe this is an opportunity for you to change. Maybe this is an opportunity for you to grow in a way that you've never grown before. And so, if you want that in your life, I highly encourage you to go get it. I used to be a personal trainer before I did this, and so it's been 7 years. So happy, feeling so fulfilled on a day-to-day level. And I've been up since 3:30 in the morning, and it's already, I don't know, 8:30, 9 or something like that. So I'm gonna call it because guess what? I want to get some sleep and I want to get back at it tomorrow. And I'm so excited about that. So if you enjoy the channel, subscribe, hit the notification bell. I'm going to be doing a lot of these. We got a 45-day challenge going on at HF Music Academy. If you want to be a part of it, come join us. We would love to have you on board. A lot of people are are doing big things. We just had 2 of our members get signed to a publishing deal today. Another gentleman by the name of Chris Baggs got signed to another publishing deal. Lots of great things happening in this community, so we would love to see you be a part of it. I wish you a good night. I bid you adieu. Take good care of yourselves. Stay up. Keep learning, guys. Keep growing. Do it for yourself. This is your life. This is your time. And I'm out of here. All right. Cheers. Take it easy.